All right, Shalom, real quick, giving all praise, honor, and glories to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone who still teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hope, to the elect scattered amongst the four corners of the earth. Those of you that are gonna have both the traditional so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American appearance, as well as the speckled bird Israelites that were scattered amongst the other 17. They're scattered amongst the 17 heathen nations. Some of you will come looking like so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, Native Americans. Some of you also come looking like so-called white people, so-called Asians, so-called Chinese, Japanese, so-called Arabs, so-called Hawaiians, so-called Africans, so-called East Indians. This is just a quick video in reference to Revelation 12 and 12. For the devil is come down, having a great wrath, because he know he have but a short time. Let me grab it real quick. And it corresponds with Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 and 17, the mark of the beast. Let me grab the Revelation 12 and 12 real quick. And this is talking about Esau Edom, the he that's the devils that's coming down with great wrath of Esau Edom, beginning with the top banking families. Like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, DuPonts, Oppenheimers, Sassoons, Browns, the Barclays, the Chases. This is Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Now, how does he know that he has a short time? It's because the Most High sending fearful constellations to this devil to let him know that his time is short and his time is limited. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this, I got another thing from Elon Musk where he's they got the whole Chris Brown Usher concert coming up here pretty soon. And then, that's how, Esau is a real cunning hunter and he's real deceptive. So while he's got, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans fixated on Chris Brown, Elon Musk just is in federal court trying to normalize and use technology to be able to discriminate against us, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To be able to determine whether our people are eligible for being able to live in homes, being able to be hired for a job, being able to have health insurance. All right. Now, this is fair use underneath the Copyright Act of 1976. This is a video from a channel called Fight of Faith 4. Fair use, fair use, fair use. There's a copyright disclaimer under Title 17 USC Section 107, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, so here we go.
Elon Musk just told a federal judge that being forced to not discriminate against black people violates his First Amendment rights. I'm not exaggerating. That's the actual lawsuit. Your entire attention is on a Chris Brown and Usher stadium tour right now. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is in federal court deciding whether his AI can reject you for your home, your job, and your doctor.
Now, that's how Esau Edom does, with his media machine. On the radio waves, the air, TV waves, the internet waves, and people, and for those who still read newspapers, he likes to control the narrative and just, fill the airways with folly and wine and bread and circus, just like they did back in during the time of Rome, which Madam Babylon today is Rome 2.0. So yeah, and it's true, because back during the Super Bowl this year in 2026, who was that? The FDA, while the Super Bowl was going on and that whole controversy over this Bad Bunny entertainer, the FDA approved, bill to the Gizates the ability to put the COVID vaccine into food. You know what I mean? So for people who, who had enough common sense to avoid the, the jizab back in 2020, you know what I mean? Like they're back behind closed doors making these deals to hurt the children of Israel. Remember Psalms the 83rd chapter, it says, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So they don't want us, they don't want us to even know that we're Israel. And then at the same time, they're trying to find ways to do away with us. All right. So, stuff like that jizab is pretty spot on with Psalms the 83rd chapter. But let me start this over again and let this video continue. It's only about a minute and 24 seconds long.
Elon Musk just told a federal judge that being forced to not discriminate against black people violates his First Amendment rights. I'm not exaggerating. That's the actual lawsuit. Your entire attention is on a Chris Brown and Usher stadium tour right now. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is in federal court deciding whether his AI can reject you for your home, your job, and your doctor. This is why we're always missing at the table. The media pushes the concert, and while you're trying to...
And when she said like missing at the table, it's like, yeah, because we're not meant to have, this isn't our rest. Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Roughly paraphrasing. That's why we don't have our own army. We don't have our a table at the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, et cetera, et cetera. When you go to C-SPAN and you watch those programs where they're up there having those little meetings and stuff, Jake is not in there. And there's a reason for that, because right now we're in captivity. All right.
To figure out tickets you cannot afford, somebody is in federal court making reject you for your home, your job, and your doctor. This is why we're always missing at the table. The meeting.
All right, and it says it can reject you from your home, your job, and your doctor. All right, so, and this goes in tandem. That type of mindset goes in tandem with this scripture here, Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right. So you see the platform, or the structure of this NW to the ISO, Esau Edom World Order, is that they want